Absolutely massive Game Boy scam coming up. Make sure to watch to the end.
As many of you probably know, I absolutely love collecting very rare Game Boys.
He does?
So when I had an opportunity to pick up a Mirinda Game Boy Color, I was very excited. This is one of the most desirable Game Boys. It's also a really pretty one as well.
I've never heard of this. I've never heard of the Mirinda Game Boy. I'm going to have to look this up. Well, I was able to find this interesting, like, it's a nicer high-res photo of it. It looks like an orange brand or something. Maybe it's from a drink brand or something like that. I'm not sure. Let's see if the Retro Future explains.
It's a complete orange Game Boy. I do actually have an orange Game Boy Color, but this one is orange and black. This is the Die-Hawks limited edition Game Boy Color, and this one is boxed in very nice condition.
Okay.
And so this Game Boy right here in front of me is worth a lot of money. There's one that sold not that long ago for $1,700, and
$1,700. Okay. Okay, we're talking some money. Yeah. You could buy, well, it'd be a beater, but you could buy a used car with that. That'd be insane.
there's one up for sale right now for around about $3,000. However, I think this one is fake.
Ah. Getting scammed. I'm ready for it. Need a little retro techie drama in my life. Let's go.
So where there's great desirability and rarity, there's a very high price. And Game Boys are in a bit of a boom right now, as are a lot of other retro things. I mean, look at Pokemon cards, for example. And so,
I mean, yeah, just as time goes on, things are going to get harder and harder to find. The price is just going to go up and up, especially like quality of things. As time goes on, there's more chance for something to get damaged and destroyed as it changes hands as well, or, you know, just how it's stored and things like that. And so, yeah, just it's going to become more and more valuable, all of these devices, as time goes on. It's really cool.
So unfortunately, it's in the interest of the companies that make Game Boy shells to create one that's going to look like a very rare, desirable Game Boy.
Yeah.
Now, that might not necessarily be just to scam people, because there's lots of different rare Game Boy Color shells that you can buy so that you can make your Game Boy look like one of the rarer ones.
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense, though. If you're really trying to complete that collection, you want to have that really authentic-looking shell, even if it's just to have the look, and you know it's not the original legit one, but maybe it's really hard to find or just way out of your price range, so you just want to have something that looks like it. Yeah, it makes sense.
Let's face it, are really, really expensive. And if you like the design and you want to own the Game Boy, but you don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds, it does make sense to buy it. But unfortunately, not everyone is as genuine in that. And this one has been passed off as a genuine article. But in actual fact, it is fake. And I'm going to...
Yeah, I mean, that looks way too clean. Unless it was actually sold as a mint, right? Like it had never been opened. That's the only way I could believe that it looks this clean. But even then, I feel like there would be some like aging to the color, the screen maybe, or something, some yellowing or something. I don't know. It looks way too clean.
Show you the reason why in today's video, and I also want to open it up as well. But the first thing I wanted to do was actually compare this shell to the Die-Hawks limited edition Game Boy Color, because this one in theory should be the same sort of orange as it would have been on the original official one.
Okay.
And that does look to be about right. Now at first,
yeah, there's maybe a slight tint off, like just very, very minuscule. It wasn't exactly the same, but it was very close.
Glance, these are nearly identical. They really are. It's actually insane how...
Yeah, this one on the right is just a tad bit darker, like really, really, really hard to tell, but I can see just maybe a slight shade darker.
How accurate they've been able to get that. That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there is very, very minor differences. The only real one that I can see is that inside the Nintendo logo of the fake, it's much shinier than on the official.
Oh yeah, I can see that. It's almost like, yeah, it's like wet looking in there. It's weird. It's weird how glossy it is. Yeah.
Official one. I'm not sure if you can even really see that, but that is pretty much the only difference that I can see immediately.
Yeah, it was almost like, I wouldn't say matte. Like a matte finish is not necessarily, well, yeah, I guess it was more of like a matte finish, or maybe like a semi-gloss on the real one. And then the fake one is just way too glossy. Like, it looked like almost, I don't know, it looked like glass almost.
In terms of quality, I mean, they look and feel exactly the same. I would say that is actually so scary
Yeah.
how accurate that is. I mean, for the people out there that are looking to actually buy one of these, that is going to be a real nightmare. One thing I can say is that the alignment of these little sort of design, these grips here, possibly for taking the cartridge out, they are not aligning very well on the fake one. So maybe.
Oh yeah. There's definitely, you can see it. There's more of a gap. It's like spreading out more towards the right side. That's interesting. That's a good note.
Maybe that is a little telltale sign and a giveaway.
Oh, and they weren't perfectly lined up too. Yeah, that's right.
And it hasn't quite closed up as well on the fake one.
Right.
Truly quite a scary thing to.
I guess that's more of my note from the previous. Yeah, it's definitely not closing up properly. And then, like you said, the grooves were not lined up.
Look at. I wonder if I get my phone torch out. This is the real one up against my phone light, and then.
I love watching videos of like British people. Oh my gosh, it's so refreshing, the accent, and then also just the way they say stuff. Like if I get my phone torch out, like what I would never think to call the flashlight on my phone a phone torch, but it's really cool. I like that a lot.
And this one is the fake. I would say that potentially the fake one looks a little bit more sort of red than orange. It's a bit of a hotter color.
That's what I was saying. It's just a shade, just a very slight shade darker. Yeah, so more on the red side, I would say too. Yeah.
But if you're testing that, it's probably too late. You've probably already bought one of these. I mean, here's one right now on eBay, which I would actually say is a scam. And in the description, it just says sold as seen. But what's weird about that one is that the sticker on the back looks to be genuine, whereas the.
Yeah, see, I tend to lean and trust more a description that has some actual details, because in my opinion, if you're really trying to make it seem like you have nothing to hide, that is more trustworthy to me. Like, oh, you have details about this and you have nice photos that, you know, kind of match up with your details. That's about as forthright as you can be. But when you see something like that where it's just sold as seen or even empty, like no description basically, that's something where it's like, okay, you have one photo and you only get to see one angle of it, or even multiple angles maybe. But maybe it's just, yeah, there's just no details, no information, and you're just kind of just going with it. Like, I don't know. And you're spending that much money? Oh, no, it's not for me.
The sticker on this one is definitely fake, and let me show you. So just look at the edges of this sticker. They are nearly square, like actually right angles, sharp corners.
Yeah.
Whereas on the fake one, they're much more sort of rounded off. Now as well.
That's right. Yes, that's right. So it kind of it matches up more with the spacing of this kind of like cut in indentation of the casing of the actual shell of the Game Boy. It matches up a lot more, the rounding of it. And the other one, yeah, like you said, it was a lot more squared off.
This Game Boy is in really, really good condition, but the screen has some scratches on it and the sticker has some wear to it, where this one is pretty much immaculate. There are some scratches up here, but the sticker on the back is just kind of too perfect. Now, don't get me wrong, I do have some Game Boys that are in this good condition, but if you're on a site and you're looking at photos of a Game Boy, you should expect to see some sort of damage, especially scratches here where the Game Boy cartridge slides in and out.
Yes.
Versus this one, as you can see, there's loads. And the other massive giveaway is that on the sticker for the serial number, the writing is just all over the place. I mean, look at.
Yeah, that doesn't even look consistent at all. Look at the spacing. Look at the spacing of the letters. It's like this and this and this and this. That's crazy. Yeah, they didn't even try with the serial number. Wow.
That 9, for example, whereas on the official one, it's much more uniform.
Yes.
Now, one thing we obviously have to do is open it up and see the condition of the inside, because maybe this is something that might just be fun to play on, but.
Maybe they used the original Marinda board. We don't know. You never know. Yeah, maybe we can tell by opening it up.
Is it worth buying them? Is the condition of the inside good?
Let's see.
Now, I don't actually know if these are going to be something that will come up again for sale from a company in China or someone on some auction site trying to pass it off as being real.
Yeah.
So it might just be that someone in the UK or someone in the US has bought this shell on AliExpress and tried to reshell it and then flog it on a local site. So you just have to be really, really careful. But wherever this one's come from, I want to see what the motherboard and screen looks like inside. I mean, I'm not saying that all...
There you go. There's your PSA. Buyer beware. You see Game Boys like this that look too good to be true. They probably are. Just be very careful. Look at these kind of details like serial numbers, stickers, if you can tell from the pictures that you get with these listings. And just be careful. Yeah, you know, spend your money wisely.
All of these are going to have whatever quality of refurbishment this one may or may not have had. So that's just something to bear in mind. So let's take this shell off. I have to say, that motherboard inside looks absolutely spotless. Absolutely spotless. That really is a very, very clean motherboard inside.
Nice. Is it actually Nintendo, though? I mean, it definitely looks like it, but who am I to know?
Okay. So, I have a couple of thoughts. The first one is that the rubber membranes are actually legit. And you can tell because there's quite a lot of wear on the little black conductive pads. Can you see that there?
That's interesting. Okay. So maybe not a true Miranda Game Boy, but they definitely maybe used, at the very least, the pads are original. So they took original parts, put them into this fake shell. Interesting.
Let's take that off. That has a lot of dirt in it as well, which is really confusing me. I'm just actually quite confused right now as to...
So yeah, it seems like they maybe just bought a bulk amount of, you know, old used Game Boys, took them apart, got these shells, and then put it all together and resold it as a original unit. That's interesting.
I mean, there's no denying this shell is fake, because look at the inside of this right here. There is no Game Boy, genuine Game Boy in history that has ever come with a protective film over the cartridge slot.
Yep.
That is 100% not genuine.
Yeah, I've taken apart my fair share, even though I had really no reason to, just to look inside because I wanted to. And yeah, I've never seen a protective film on the cartridge cover there, ever. It's always just straight metal.
My only thoughts are that the buttons, for some reason, are the original buttons from the Game Boy. Because, yeah, look, flipping over that D-pad, that is in absolutely minging condition. That is absolutely disgusting. But that is definitely a genuine D-pad. None of these...
That's actually concerning and like disturbing and annoying to me. Like, why wouldn't they clean it first before putting it in there? That's weird.
Fake shells are going to have this much wear already. On the underside of the action button contacts, they're dirty too. And let's have a look at these buttons here. I mean, that's another telltale sign. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, let's look at this separately in a second. These buttons as well, both the original genuine buttons, quite dirty, a little bit scratched up, so they're definitely real. Now, I don't know if you saw that there, but the screen just fell out, and that's because there's no adhesive around the inside of this screen bezel. So there's another massive giveaway. But again, that's something that is too late. If you're taking this apart, that means you've already bought one.
Right.
And hopefully no one's done that and actually been scammed other than, well, myself. Another really telltale sign about these fakes is that the print quality is just nowhere near as good as Nintendo's official one. So if you...
Yeah, when I was looking at this little logo there, I was thinking it looked kind of cheap looking. It didn't look very quality. It didn't look like Nintendo's quality. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Look here at this little print. It's kind of got like a white edge to it, and it's raised slightly. I mean, if I rub my nail across there, I can absolutely feel it. Now, if you compare that to an official limited edition console that has an actual print on it, this is absolutely invisible, and it's the
exactly. It's flush, it's clean. Yeah, it definitely looks better quality. Yeah,
same print quality as the start and select in A and B.
Yep.
You can hardly feel that at all if you run your finger across it. There we have it, a very fake Game Boy. I hope no one's gotten scammed. It's a pretty atrocious thing to think about, that these are introduced into the world. And as of right now, there is one on eBay which is a scam. So that is very scary. But yeah, these things are super accurate. I'm going to put this whole thing back together and give it away on my Instagram. Look in the description. There'll be a link. I'll catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Well, I enjoyed that a lot. That was definitely a very cool video. It is really disappointing that people are out there to scam others, and it sucks that people are getting scammed from these folks. I really feel bad for anybody who actually falls for those scams. $300 or $350 or something like that. That's crazy money to throw away on something, thinking it's the real thing, and then finding out later, oh no, it's not. Yeah, that just hurts. Well, what do you guys think? Was that a convincing knockoff? Is it something you think you would fall for? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like, a subscribe, and I will see you next time.